Ladies and gentlemen, you are not crazy. This is not the weekend. This is Wednesday. We're only halfway through the week, but God damn it, do I have the most incredible night. I'm so excited about this. It's your boy Stoney coming to you live from the TCM Museum of Minnesota. What up, Chainsaw family? This is the Space Corps podcast, baby, coming to you on a Wednesday night because we got a special guest. We got TCM, Texas Chainsaw Massacre royalty in the house. So before we get into that, of course, the sponsor for the show is Half Moon Designs, Queen Bee, and McDonald. Use promo code Space Corps at checkout for 10% off your entire order. That's all the horror merchandise she makes, even the viral burrito wallets and all that stuff that's blown up on TikTok. You know the deal, baby. Hit all that stuff up. We got the merch stores open too, so if you like what you're seeing, you like to support the show, gets better microphones like this brand new beautiful Shure mic that I got. God damn it, I love it, man. I appreciate it. So head out the Printify, get some Space Corps podcast merch, get some TCM Museum shit, or don't, doesn't matter. I just love you for checking in. So, ladies and gentlemen, I swear to God, again, Wednesday, why am I here? Because this is unbelievable. I would do anything to get this man on the fucking show, and I'm so fucking excited because out of all the TCM dudes around there, this is one of the most hardest working fucking guys that's out there right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Brett Wagner, Big Schwag himself, Leatherface. Hello, sir.
How are you, buddy?
Oh, good, brother. Thanks for being on, man.
My pleasure. So, folks, if you're watching, my camera's here, which is way on the side of my tablet. And if I'm looking at him, talking to him, I got to look this way. So don't, I'm not cross-eyed.
It kind of works out right because you're looking over at my pane anyway. So it just looks like you're being very polite. So, you know, it's just good eye contact.
All right. I think you can see a few Leatherface stuff behind me. There we go.
Yeah. Dude, at my work, that's how my webcam's set up. I can't get it right. And every time I'm on a damn video call, it looks like I'm looking way off into space too. And I'm just like, I swear to God, I promise I'm paying attention.
Oh. Yes. How are you, buddy?
Oh, dude, I'm doing so well.
We've known each other via the internet for a few years.
Yes. We've almost met up a few times. We almost had you in Minneapolis for the Crypticon. However, you had some something to overtake that. I mean, you're an active actor. You've got a career going on, and I know something happened, and I hope to catch you here.
I am a spokesman for Bad Boy Mowers at Batesville, Arkansas. And it's $1 billion company, and I've been with them for 21 years. So that was our dealers meeting that week, and you know, if I want to keep getting a paycheck, you can't miss the dealers meeting where they all come in because I get up on stage and hand out awards and look semi presentable. So
that's awesome.
At least our benefactor at Crypticon, Minnesota understood and gave me a pass.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's every year, so hopefully we'll be catching you sometime. The stars will align, right? It seems at least every year we've got at least one alumni from the TCM franchise, you know. So, you know, and whenever it happens, I've still got this one piece I'm waiting for because I've got you on a lot of my stuff, including the big chainsaw on the back, but I've got this cast signed big 03 original movie poster that I swear was signed during this, like the release party, because it has everybody all in the same gold. I mean, it's got Jessica on there and everybody too, but it's missing you, my friend. So one day it'll happen.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a nice piece to have. It's I have a Funko Pop signed by Andrew, Marcus Nispel. And then I went to a show, and they're like, "Hey, we got a couple." I said, "You got any of those pops signed by those two guys? I want one."
Yeah.
So then I signed it. So now it's got the two Leatherfaces from the movie and the director, who's a good buddy of mine now. So awesome. It's pretty cool.
Dude, you are like a force to be reckoned with in the convention world. I cannot believe how busy You are, my friend. I mean, like every weekend, everything you've got shit going on, and not just conventions. I mean, like you're saying with what you got with the with that business and shit. It's
Yeah.
amazing. How do you even
Well,
keep up?
I mean, if you don't stay busy and you're not getting a lot of acting work. I mean, I get some acting work and I audition for a lot of good stuff, a lot of big stuff, but it doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Sure.
Especially as you get older, I'm a different character now than I was, and there's a lot of stuff I won't do. I mean, I'm not going to go do a giant fight scene and jump off a building. So
Sure.
you got to stay busy, and this will be my 17th weekend in a row.
Wow.
Traveling, but it's local. So me, Felissa Rose, and Dave Sheridan will be driving about 2 hours down towards San Diego to do a place called the Ninja Exchange.
Oh, cool.
And then next weekend I'm doing Bakersfield Comic Con, which is 2 hours north of where I live. And then I'm going to San Antonio, me and Bob Elmore. I travel a lot. You know what? It's nice when you get to do shows and if they ask you for a suggestion who you want to book. And I love hanging out with Tom Matthews, Return of the Living Dead. I get really along with CJ Graham. I love hanging out with obviously Bob Elmore,
yes,
Mark Burnham from the Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love to hang out with Felissa Rose and Dave Sheridan. They make it fun when you do these conventions, and believe me, people say, working conventions is a job, man. It's a tough gig, but if you don't do everything, because I was the voice of Monster Garage and fill-in host for 7 or 8 years on that, and so I'll go do bike shows and car shows. But excuse me, I sang a song yesterday.
Yeah, I heard that too, man. You got a little snippet on there.
My boy.
That's what I mean. You do everything.
I don't know how they do it. 57 years old, I shouldn't be singing, but I did it for Dirty Frickin' Joe, who's and we did a show. We did a song for Desert Fiends 2, which we are going to start shooting in next year in April with Sean C. Phillips and producer Nicole Vegas. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's coming out December 10th on all the streaming platforms. And if Scout Taylor Compton, I may or may not kill her. Bai Ling, I may or may not kill her. Tom Arnold, I don't kill him, but he's in it.
You might. You know, the options are always there.
But I'm pretty excited about that. There's a great the poster is amazing. So if you look up Desert Fiends, you'll check out that poster. And it's nice to be able to work on the independent circuit and get some gigs acting wise that way. And
sure,
I've been very blessed that to do a few gigs with Sean C. Phillips. And I think this movie Desert Fiends is going to be, it's going to be very gross and very fun.
Awesome. That's going to be cool. So you'll start shooting in April next year then. So
for part 2.
Okay.
Part 1 comes out December 10th. So
gotcha. Okay. So I got to go back to just a detail because this was something kind of cool and new to me. So you'll road trip with some of the other guests for these conventions together. So I mean, so there's stories on the road where you're cruising, they're doing some miles with Bob Elmore or whoever. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and Tom Matthews, we'll go have dinner and have cigars together, and next year is the 40th anniversary of Return of the Living Dead. So he's introduced me to the whole cast because we've done a lot of shows together, and great people. A lot of these folks don't. Tom doesn't need to do the conventions. He's got a very successful construction company where he's working on Ozzy's house. He's working on George Clooney's house, George Clooney's place in Italy. So a lot of these folks, and for me, it helps. Obviously, it's fun to go do these things. It's fun to be able to sign posters and kiss babies, or sign babies, kiss posters, as Lee Waddell says. So it's fun to do. You make some money. You meet some cool people. I'm a foodie, right? So when I go to conventions, I like to go eat, and I like to go find something cool. If there's good chili It doesn't always do well when you're at the convention the next day, but
Right.
it's in Minnesota, I got a lot of friends that ride Harleys out that way. So some famous bike builders out that way. So I'm so bummed I haven't been able to get out there yet.
Hey, there's plenty of time. I think that'd be. I mean, how you've been riding bike your whole life? Then I assume, right?
I've been riding since I was probably about 20 years old, and I'm 57. So yeah.
Gotcha. So were you like when you did that episode on Sons of Anarchy? What like season was that? Just to kind of put it in perspective.
Season 1, episode 3.
Okay. So that was even kind of before it was, that big and popular or whatever. But I mean, like, how was that really like kind of something special and cool to do just to add to the resume? That it was like, tied in.
Well, I mean, I was riding with the club at the time, so I would come to set on my motorcycle, wear my patch. I was trying to. Yeah, that's right. I'm and Kim Coates, Kim Coates on the show was a good friend of mine before, so. I used to see Kim all the time, and I'd see him at, he'd come into a cigar shop I used to work, and then I got, going into his trailer saying hello. Charlie Hunnam was very nice. Ron Perlman, they're all nice guys. Nobody knew that show would blow up, obviously, as big as it did.
Yeah.
If I would have known, I probably would have said no to the part I had and waited and hoped that you get a second chance to come in and audition for something bigger. But
sure.
Listen, big show. It's great. So I still see some of those guys sometimes, and they're, hello, how are you? And, Charlie Hunnam seems to be a pretty cool guy that'll sign autographs for, the wife when she catches him will get an autograph signed. And
awesome.
And obviously Kim Coates is just a tremendous Canadian actor, and I love doing shows with him. So
that's awesome, man. My buddy Sean Fuller, he just did some kind of a signing with most of the cast down there too. So that was pretty cool. So he's got some biker, some vests and some helmets and shit that he's been kind of putting up for the community, which is great to see. But
yeah, the biggest deal at conventions is obviously, Charlie Hunnam's a pretty big deal. So when he's at a convention, he's doing well. But the biggest, I would say Robert Englund, but it's probably the second biggest. I would say Bruce Campbell. That's probably tied with Robert Englund. But what is the biggest deal at conventions? The Screamcast and Matthew Lillard.
Oh, the lines are legendary.
It's crazy. Listen, it is crazy. But to their guys' credit, Skeet and Matthew and Lee Waddell and all those folks, they will sit there and they will sign, and they'll sign all day.
Yeah.
10 hours, do pictures. 500 pictures in one day, come on.
It's
crazy.
Amazing. And kind of what you're saying is like, you're a foodie and it's like, dude, you get to go to all these conventions, but I mean, that's the things like people got to understand. It's a long ass day. It's a long weekend for you guys. I mean, it's not, you can't just abandon your post all the time. Cause I mean, it's like, you're there for the fans.
You can't abandon.
You're there to make money. You're there as a commitment. So it's like, you don't have time to go to a restaurant for lunch for an hour and a half, I mean, it's like, I see what you guys, eat. You're like, hopefully, if you got somebody who's working with you, your agent or somebody can go run and grab you food. But I mean, do you?
Yeah. So we'll take care of each other, right? Tom Matthews, we were working, we were in Memphis MonsterCon, a brand new con this weekend, last weekend. And, Tom would go to the green room. You want something? Most of the conventions have cool people walking around to help, and they'll grab you whatever you need. And if they got a cool truck outside, you get something to eat. Or if they, some of the bigger conventions will have a really, really, really nice green room and take the time for lunch. But, I'm there to sign, right? So I try to, I'm the first person there, the last person to leave. I will feel terrible if I miss someone at my table.
Sure.
Why I hate doing panels. I love to be on a panel.
Yeah.
But man, it takes you away from sitting at your table and grinding and meeting folks and signing pictures but it's a big convention con family. You either figure it out for all the new actors that are maybe in some big movies and big horror movies, and they either figure it out right away or they don't. And then They sometimes, they'll be prima donnas, and you can, if they're big enough, they may last a few seasons, and then if they keep being prima donnas, people won't book them. So.
I've definitely have heard the fair share of the pain in the ass people. That's just like you're not worth the hype, not worth the whatever. Sorry, just I won't name names, but I definitely know some legendary people.
We know the same people. So this is another thing. Here's a tip, folks. If you get in a movie and you're lucky enough to go do a convention, don't do this at your table. And sit at your table and be on your phone.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing. And then when you feel someone come up, you put it down. It's the worst thing to.
Yep.
You want to make eye contact with folks. You want to wave. If I see someone wearing some cool shirt or something, or
you want to feel approachable.
I always, you got to be approachable. And a lot of people, or if they chain smoke, they're gone from their table 100%. I mean, they're gone 50% of the time.
Yeah, give it up, or do the dumb vape or whatever the hell. That's I mean, it's like you're there, and it's just like you're there because fans want to come see you. There you go. Nice. Crack her open.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's we're blessed to be able to do it. I mean, I get to travel. I get to see a lot. I'm a horror movie guy, right? So I mean, it's why I first started acting.
Sure.
Is that I loved horror movies. I loved Night of the Living Dead was one of my favorite movies. Dawn of the Dead is my favorite movie. I grew up with children shouldn't play with dead things. I just love that campy horror movie. If you've never seen it, folks, go watch it. Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Night Gallery. So when I do conventions like this weekend, I was with Ken Foree.
Nice.
In Memphis, and I started acting because of that guy, because I was like, man, I want to be in Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Because I love Ken, and he's such a cool guy.
He's awesome.
And he's a big dude too. You would think that you don't want to cross him. He may give you a left hook.
Yeah, it's surprising to see who's got some real good size to him, and then like the other way around too. You go, God, just the camera tricks and stuff. You go, I would have never guessed you were 5'8" or 5'6" or something. Somebody who just looked like they were massive. And
well, my buddy Miko Hughes is not the tallest in stature, but he's pretty buff. Ladies love Miko Hughes. I'm just saying that. When he sits next to you, you got to be prepared for all these women to walk by giggling.
Oh, sure.
And going, oh my God, look at that. Another guy, good actor, very good actor, and really fun guy and cool guy to be signing next to when you're at a convention.
Sure. Yeah, so at Crypticon this year, we had Bob and Carolyn were there for a little TCM2 thing, and so it was great just getting to meet them and stuff. The nice thing about the Minneapolis one, and at least nice from the fan aspect, is it's pretty low key. I mean, it's busy and it's packed, but they do it in this hotel convention kind of area where it's not just one big room. It's actually spread throughout the whole main level and the basement of this hotel. So it's kind of a little maze to go into, but it breaks up the crowd. And there's no such thing as like these 5, 6, 7 hour wait times for seeing a guest. So I feel fortunate because there's so many people I want to see at these conventions where if I felt I was committed to a line and that's almost your whole day, that's
it's tough. I listen. I'm more power to the folks.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we try to get through them. Sometimes even if I have 5 or 6 people in line, I still try to be polite to everybody. But there's a way to say, all right, thanks, man. And I got to get the next people in here. But yeah, these people that Creep IE is a big show. Monsterpalooza is a big show in LA. The 2 biggest shows that are in Los Angeles, and they get huge lines for the folks,
sure.
the Scream folks and the Terrifier crew, and David Howard Thornton, and they get giant lines. But to their credit, they're also really good people that will sit there and wait, and then if they are about to pass out because they haven't eaten or gone to the bathroom in 8 hours, then you may miss them for a second. But Bill Moseley too. Listen, I love doing shows with Bill Moseley because he's fun. I always watch. This is how I learned. I did conventions 16 years ago, right?
Okay.
Couple, and I was terrible. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to be nice to people. I didn't know how to I mean, there's an art form to being polite, and there's an art form to saying hello. And even if you bullshit with somebody, right? But they don't buy a picture from you. It doesn't matter. It's cool. You made an impression.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to do that, and I was just like, oh my god, it was so bad. And then I would do a couple conventions. I'd watch Bill Moseley. I'd watch Felissa Rose.
Sure.
I watched some of the CJ Graham. He's a prime example too. They're so good with the fans, and I'm like, okay, well that's what I got to do. So if you're a brand new actor and you're doing the convention circuit, watch those folks or watch me.
Yep.
And we'll show you the proper way to be polite and have a good time at a convention.
Absolutely. It's like take notes and just keep the ego out as much as you can. I mean, there's people are going to have that. That's fine. But, that's it.
Well,
I
don't know how you have an ego, right? Some of these people, look, I'm in one scene in a movie. In the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I do the first kill in the movie, drag Kemper through the house, slam the door shut, and then I got heat stroke. I got heat stroke while we were filming that. So a day and a half, legit, I'm on the set, and that's it. So there's no ego to have. I'm blessed that I was a part of that franchise. I'm blessed that even though it's one scene, it's a big deal to people. It's a big deal to fans. I mean,
sure is.
I signed next to Tom Morga.
Yeah.
In Lexington. Let me tell you, he's in one scene. That's it. He's on the truck.
In two.
And Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 going across the bridge. He's the only guy to ever play Leatherface, Michael Myers, and Jason. Yeah. And he's the nicest fucking dude. 80-something, 83 years old, and my buddy Chainsaw Nate has a couple of the Excalibur chainsaws.
Yes, Nate Hewitt.
And then he also has a chainsaw from Part 2, and he brings it over there. And Tom Morga, 83 years old, picks it up like it's nothing. He goes, "Oh yeah, this feels like we had in the movie. This is I was like, oh, that's a heavy damn chainsaw."
It sure is. Dude, yeah, shout out to Nate, man. Nate Huey, good friend of mine. He's been on a few times too, man. That guy is doing amazing things. He's busy as well. I'm just so happy to see how successful and how busy and how everything all you guys are doing, because it's just like you're doing something you like, you love. You're not just going to your 9 to 5, just dreading it. Like, and it shows,
Listen, believe me, sometimes you wish you had a 9 to 5. I mean, sometimes you're like, man, I gotta tell you. 16 weekends in a row. I'm just glad that we get to break it up with 2 weeks where I can drive and where I can, and it's tough. It's what's tough is getting your product to the conventions.
Sure.
It's not easy. Like if I was coming to Minnesota, I'd have to ship stuff to you.
Mm-hmm.
So my sledgehammers, we've been doing really well with these sledgehammers because I don't use the chainsaw in the movie. I will sign the chainsaws, but I tell folks, I say, I didn't use the chainsaw in the movie. That was all Andrew. But my buddy, Scared City Productions, this guy, Scott Bainey, who makes knives and makes a lot of stuff for a lot of different celebrities. He came to me and said, "Hey, man, I make these sledgehammers." And I'm like, "A sledgehammer? I can't carry a sledgehammer around." He's like, "Well, it's a piece of wood. It's very light wood.
Nice.
And then it's a composite on top. So it's not as heavy. And now we even shortened them a little bit. So if I had to bring them home, I can put them in my bag and they'll fit in my bag. But, the Funko Pops, the all that stuff, if you want to have a kick-ass table,
oh yeah,
you're going to have to ship stuff unless it's a local show. Like, this weekend with Felissa and Dave, I'll bring a shiznit ton of stuff because I can put it in the back of my car and drive 2 hours and pull it out and so. But yeah, it's it's a blessing, dude. We're very lucky to some people, this is all they do. They don't act anymore, and they make a very good living doing the convention circuit, or they can make a decent living, and depending on where you live, it's a pretty good life.
Definitely. So like my buddy John Henderson, Doomsday Crypt, when he was at the Crypticon, I mean, he had like 2 or 3 tables worth of a booth. I mean, that time for setting up and the hauling and the totes and this and this, and of course, in the convention, it's not like you just have the front door right next to you. I mean, it's like you got to haul it inside and down the stairs and this. I mean, that guy was just working his ass off just to get it up and running. But you better believe it looked so amazing, when it was showtime.
Yeah, to be a vendor, I mean, my buddy Scott Innes, he is the voice of Scooby-Doo and Shaggy and some other stuff.
Yeah.
His booth, it takes him 6 hours to set up a booth. Because it's just like John, it's not one booth. It's 5 different tables and all the neon and everything else that goes in. But he's a 6-hour setup and like a 5-hour breakdown. And we'll be working in Central Louisiana, not Baton Rouge.
Okay.
I believe December 15th or 16th, a Saturday. I don't know what day is that. Is that a Saturday?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, anyway, so his stuff is he has to bring a huge van or he has to bring a U-Haul to haul everything, and more power. But you know what? The rewards are afterwards when everybody says that's the greatest booth in the world, and they stop to see all that neon and and Scooby-Doo is a big deal. Scooby-Doo on Skull Island and all that stuff. So Scott, I met Scott doing Cult Classic in Baton Rouge, and he's done Crypticon before. I mean, he does the horror conventions, and people. I'm like, it's wow, it's Scooby-Doo, but people just love it. It works.
Sure. Well, and it's cool too that people will take that chance because it's like yes, we may be horror fans, but we like other things too. It's just like you can't just think that that's not going to fly. I mean, it's like so I see there you can see some music and like band elements and then just other stuff too. I mean, I've seen guys from like Adult Swim cartoons, like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, like those people are like all of a sudden there next to Mark Burnham, and it's just like it works, It
yeah. Well, and the Comic-Cons are such a big crossover now. Me and Doug Tate are doing a lot of Comic-Cons together and whatnot, and it's a huge deal. My buddy Scott Innes, he gets has got me booked at a few Louisiana Comic-Con and some other stuff next year, which is because that crossover horror. I mean, people see it. They have a Comic-Con, but they see also that the horror movie science fiction conventions are starting to bring in a ton of people, like 10,000, 20,000. Scarefest Lexington, 40,000 people over 3 days. That's and 105 guests.
That was wild.
That's a show you need to go to, by the way.
I wanted to ask you about that too, because so it's like Scarefest. How many Leatherface? How many of you guys was it? Was it 6 or 7? I mean, it was. It was
6. It would have been 7 if Dan Yeager could have made it.
Oh, okay. Dude, it's just wild. It's what a rare occasion just to get everybody together. I mean, it's like it's great to see cast reunions and those getting big, but I mean, this is cross franchise. What a unique opportunity. So yeah,
it'll never happen again, right? We're never. Some of the guys are getting old. It was tough to get everybody together, anyways, for this thing, and Brandon and gosh. Anyways, Brandon Griffiths and everybody and Adrian at the Scarefest put that thing together and had 6 Michael Myers, 6 Leatherfaces, 6 Jasons, and it was and there were still 95 guests left that they brought in. So,
God, that's
pretty cool. And Don Coscarelli, and it's like at the end of a movie, blah, 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 and Don Coscarelli. So Don was there. Don's a good friend of mine. Him and his wife are just another reason I started acting. I was such a huge Phantasm, a Beastmaster fan, that I got to work with Don on, John dies at the end, and what a legend. He should direct more, and he's still doing great. Good family, great guy, and, it's always cool.
Wow. God, that's so cool. I mean, like the other thing too, like we're still in 2024, 50th year anniversary of TCM, and did they like step up to the plate with how much they put on to celebrate. I mean, from conventions to just product releases to just licensing to so many different companies. I mean, it's just like, for me as just like a huge fan of this, dude, it's been the fucking year of a lifetime. It's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing, I got to see all the guys at Creep IE, earlier in the year in February when we did that, and they had the 50th, they had the reunion and everybody there. And then, I was with John Dugan over the weekend, and Dugan's always fun, and
Yeah.
he's a great guy to hang out with. And he actually signed my buddy, you'll know who it is, that he made my Saws family hat. He also makes the Excaliburs, the chainsaws. Gonna kill me now. But he brought me a piece of the original house.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which is really cool. And I got Ken Foree to sign. I got John Dugan to sign it. And it's just, look, it's a blessing because, like I said, I'm a fan of this stuff. So when I get to meet these people in person and tell my story, or at least I usually just listen to what they got to say and
Sure.
say I'm a big fan. And say, is it all right if I get something signed? When I met Gunnar Hansen, he had no idea I was in the movie.
Okay.
And I brought 2 pops to have him sign, and I tried to pay him. And he goes, no, I'm not going to make you pay for these. I said, man, you got to make a living. He goes, no. I said, take the money. He goes, listen, would you like to sit down and bullshit with me, or would you want me to take this money? I said, no, I'd rather sit with you. So I sat with him for about an hour and
cool.
Watched him do his thing with the fans and got to say hello. And Dan Yeager was signing down, a couple rows down. So that was pretty cool. And so for me, it's a big deal. It's like I'm living my childhood, dreams and all my heroes growing up when I get to go to these shows and meet everybody. So
that's amazing. That's so sweet. Dan, he's such an odd, love the guy.
The smartest Leatherface there is. That's what I like to say.
Every time I see him on Facebook, he's enjoying a cigar and doing this and this, and I just go, man, he just, it's almost like a, an appreciation for some of those more rare, appearance guys when they finally come out of the woodwork for a minute. You go, oh my God, like he's here. Dan's
a great guy and book guy. He loves vintage books.
Okay.
He bought it. They bought a church. They live in an old school church in upstate New York, him and his wife, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
But really good guy. Probably legitimately the tallest Leatherface there is. One of the biggest guys ever to play the part, taller than Andrew and me for sure.
Jeez.
Taller than Mark Burnham, but just a very classy, well-educated guy. Just very, his cigars, his whiskey, and he's got a pretty good book collection. He's a good dude. I wish he would have been there.
Yeah. Oh, that's excellent. And then Mark too. I mean, like what? It seems you two really kicked it off well. I mean, I saw kind of like a good stint of you guys doing some conventions together, and it just getting to meet him. Like it just. You guys are also genuinely really nice, good people, especially for just people that are like, you're playing a villain, of some sort, right? I mean, it's just like, I think he just fits in just perfect, and and it's just awesome. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, well, we have no choice. I mean, if you want to keep working, you got to be. Listen, I mean, no, everybody seems to be pretty cool. We could. I never met Bill Johnson except I met him at Scarefest in Lexington. I've talked to him. I've tried to get him gigs, we chat over Facebook and Messenger and stuff. But it was pretty nice to meet him. So I've done I got to put a show together it's called Frankensons. It's a giant indoor, flea market where everybody has their own booths in this giant place. Their own stores in there. And so it was me, Mark Burnham, and Bob Elmore signing because we all live within an hour and a half of each other, and it was easy to get there.
Oh, that's cool.
We signed for 2 days, and it was great. It's, as before, probably you didn't want to have, if you were a convention or you were a Leatherface, you don't want to be at a convention signing with another guy. But, which was great because people would come and they get a Funko Pop for me. And I would just say, hey, look, I'll sign small so you can get the next guy, and the next
hook
guy.
each other up. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, and we do that a lot. It's but yeah, Elmore and me travel a lot when we go do shows a lot together, which is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He was such a pleasure to meet too, just for just how kind that man is. It just, I mean, when I came in too, when we go to meet him, him and Carolyn are right across the booths from each other. And I, like a dork, I'm bringing in the wagon of stuff because I go, all right, I could actually bring in some of the larger things I would never dare try to ship, So I had the big chili trophy and just some stuff, right? And as I walk in, there he is just at his booth. He's eating chili, It's just like, it was just so funny, It was almost just kind of like a comical. Everybody's like, hold on, double taking, like, is he really eating that? And I mean, just the kindest man. And then they go up and do the panel, and and it's night and day. You know him. I mean, he doesn't swear. He's just very, very gentlemanlike. And then there's Carolyn just telling every war story under the sun, and God, that was just amazing. It was so nice.
Yeah, Caroline's great, and Caroline looks great, stays in good shape. I told her, man, you've been taking some very sexy photos lately on the on the internet. She's really sweet. Jennifer Banco's really sweet, wild and crazy, but great. Just a good person, and I love signing with her too. We did a show together, and 99% of the folks that have been in these movies they're good people. So it's it's a blessing, and it's a franchise that'll never stop. There'll always be Halloweens. There'll always be.
Yep.
They'll do a new Friday the 13th eventually, and they'll probably do a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre next year. Hopefully Mark will get a chance to be the second guy to be a Leatherface in 2 movies, which would be nice.
Yeah. And that's what everybody's kind of holding their breath on too, because when it first came out in 2022, then all of a sudden there was talks. Oh, they signed it for a trilogy, but I don't know if that's true or if they're just with COVID, how much that really kind of screwed everything up, and then with the SAG, with the strike and all that. I mean, I just think it really kind of changed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but listen, that changed a lot of stuff, and independent filmmaking.
Yeah.
Changed a lot of stuff. When you get Terrifier 2.
Yes.
Or Terrifier 3. Terrifier 2 went gangbusters and did so well that they got them part 3. And then when part 3 is, doing when it's worldwide $70 million. I mean, right? By the end of this, they may be close to $100 million for a movie that I forget what it cost. If it cost the new one, I don't know what the third one cost. Maybe it cost $2 million or something, or $1.5 million.
Sure.
That's just an incredible feat. It's the folks at Fuzz on the Lens, and the producers, and then Damien Leone and those guys. It's hats off to them, but it gives a lot of these other young filmmakers, or even older guys that want to that are new to the business. It gives them hope that you could do something like that. Like, I think Desert Fiend, which we did, is going to be. I think it's going to be received well because of something like the Terrifier, because of the blood and gore and the grossness factor. And I think our guys did a really good job on this Desert Fiends. And it's just it's a testament to, guys that do their own stuff. I mean, obviously it helps that Damien Leone is a great special effects guy.
Mm-hmm.
When you do stuff like that, like Robert Hall, who's not with us anymore, who did Laid to Rest and Chrome Skull. He owned his own effects company. So, you save a lot of money when you own your own effects company and you do really good stuff, and you get creative. So I'm real excited for. Now, I didn't like In a Violent Nature. However, it did well enough that they got part 2 coming out.
Yeah.
I did love the monster. I did love one kill in the movie. The rest of it I could do without, but I think that was everybody either liked it or didn't.
Yeah.
But it got them a part 2, and so there's a lot of fresh people out there, filmmakers, that are putting their stuff out there, whether you like it or not. There's a lot of places to put the stuff on, Tubi,
absolutely,
Scarebox, Screenbox, or whatever, and all these other places. So there are avenues for people to make, to make a cheaper product, not cheap, but cheap wise, paying for it to get done.
Yeah.
Instead of, waiting to, if maybe someone will read your script and, all right, well, here we go. We got a 3.5 million budget. Well, you don't need to do that anymore. You just need to get some good actors, have a great special effects guy, have a decent story, and then you go.
Absolutely. And it's just like how promising and hopeful it is to be a person that likes to make a film nowadays. Like you say, you don't have to hope you hit that person that finally, takes you on. It's just like you have platforms. You don't need people's permission to put something up on YouTube. I mean, we got, standards and guidelines and stuff you got to follow, but it's like, it's so, and just the technology nowadays. I mean, it's like, shit, you can shoot a lot of stuff on your phone even, you know what I mean? And it's not that bad. And just with software and I mean, the emergence of the AI,
you can get
that can do.
Yeah, you can get a red camera real cheap, I mean, you can get a good camera for $3 or $4 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to invest in yourself, to go get you can get a good camera for $3 or $4 grand, and you're out. Then you just got to get the supporting cast around you.
Yep.
And you got to shoot. I mean, you can look at some of the crap that gets bought and sold, and you watch it and you go, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm a little hard on In a Violent Nature. I just didn't like a lot about it, but it gave me some really good ideas.
Oh, might have lost him for a second. Brett, we'll see if we can hop back on for a minute. There we go. Hold on one second here. Let me get you back on. And there we go. We're good.
All right. So if you watch it, you watch these movies, you may not like them, but you can pick what you do like out of them, and you can get some ideas. I'm an idea guy. Tom Matthews has got a great script. I mean, they're writing it right now, but the idea is amazing, and that's probably going to get made next year with the Vincent DeSanti. Right. Director extraordinaire. He's done some fan films and is a really good director and good guy. So, hopefully this year's you're gonna see some cool stuff from some good people. It's not gonna cost $2 million.
Sure.
It's not gonna cost $1 million. So we're pretty excited about that.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, just like I said, when that dollar amount is not that high anymore, you just got to think there's a larger pool of candidates that have fresh ideas. I feel most people, it's like if we have to see another fucking part 2 of a movie that was 20 years ago just for these blatant cash grabs, come up with a unique new story. I mean, it's just like not everything's been done. I mean, there's
100%. Well, people are afraid, I mean, look at, I've been in 2 big remakes, right? Obviously, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Sure.
I was in the remake of The Crazies, which was, I mean, I love Romero, but our movie was, I just never really understood the crazies he put out. And I was like, all right. Ours was, I thought was pretty good and did really well. And we did pretty good at the box office. And I'm tired of remakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, okay, and now with Terrifier and some of these other movies, Stream. If you haven't seen Stream, go watch Stream. The Fuzz on the Lens guys did that as well. There's different stuff out there that people are making that are getting the opportunity to make, and they're hitting pay dirt. It's doing really well, so it should give a lot of these young filmmakers hope. And look at, I mean, Sean C. Phillips and Desert Fiends, I think we raised close to $200,000 and got some, getting Scout Taylor Compton and some of these other people in the movie. It's a big deal. The Scout's legit, and she's great on camera, and I enjoyed having a couple scenes with her, And her lines are gigantic too. Her and Danielle Harris when they do their podcasts and they're together at a show. Right. It's but 2 cool people. So yeah, I think the Terrifier thing has really opened the doors for a lot of people.
Yes.
Whether you like the movie or you don't like the movie, if you're a fan of the horror genre or you have friends that want to make movies, a movie like that and Stream and some of these other movies have opened the door for guys like you and me. If we can get someone to give us $100 grand, listen, I can go make a movie for $100 grand.
Sure.
I can do it. You can get it done. So 200 grand, I'm feeling good. 500 grand, I'll do 3 movies. and they will look like they're $3 million budgets. Just depends on who you hire. Like, I'll tell you who do my poster for me.
Michael Toth.
Michael Toth.
Toth. He's never corrected
the man. He's a great artist.
Yes.
He's a guy. We're working on something right now. I mean, he does a lot of my skateboards. He's done some pictures for me that I use as 8x10s.
Yeah.
And we have a company now that might be doing something with some of Michael Toth's artwork.
Cool.
I don't want to talk about it right now, but
that's okay. That's all right.
The masses will get to see if they want to. And he's like he likes to sit at home and do his work. And I'm trying to get him to go out and do some cons.
It's like pulling teeth.
It is pulling teeth, but he's a great guy, and I've been lucky enough to work with a bunch of artists. But Mike is one of the guys I enjoy. I love his mom. I love him, and it's when we've gotten to hang out twice in 3 years. So
yeah,
he's a good dude. So I mean, there's just a ton of really talented people out there, especially artists that we get to meet. And
yeah,
people always give us, what's cool about cons is hopefully you can bring them home, but people always bring you some cool artwork. And let me see what I got here. This will show.
Yep.
Someone gave me that, and I was like, "Well, I'm taking that home, putting that awesome on the wall." I mean, I get a ton of that stuff, and it's just really cool, And then I'll sign it, and then if anything ever happens to me, the wife has some good stuff to try to sell for my funeral.
Right, you got to pay off those costs. So yeah, speaking of Michael and his mom Antonia, they're in the chat right now too. And Michael says, "Let's talk about your novel, though." LOL.
I wrote a book called The Big Schwag Self-Help Guide for Complete Losers Like You.
All right.
with my buddy Bruce, who actually wrote some books, so he did a majority of the writing, but it's a self-help book that came out when I was on the TV show Monster Garage. And the books are tough to get because the company was a self-publishing company called Publish America. And I mean, the last one I bought, they try to get you to buy your books instead of, they'll hit you up every holiday and say, "Hey, why not? It's Christmas. Why don't you buy 50 of your books?" I'm like, "Why don't you get my books in Walmart?" While I'm still on TV with Monster Garage 6 days a week, But so Michael Toth didn't believe I wrote a book, and I told him, and then there was some guy trying to sell one on eBay for $999.
Oh, of course, fuckers.
And I have one. Do I have one sitting here? I don't know.
He said he's got to get a copy.
Yeah, I'll get him a copy. I just gonna need it. I need it back. That's the problem. But yeah, there's he's like you. He's a hardworking dude that hustles to make a living, and he's got a great mom in his corner. And we just did a board for Bill Moseley, which Bill loved. We just did a board for Michael Rooker. And Michael Rooker loved it. Michael Rooker's a crazy dude, man.
Is he?
Yeah. If you ever get a chance, if you ever see him at a convention, you got to see if you can get him on the show. He's great. And so is Moseley, by the way.
Yeah. Bill was really nice when I got to meet him. So that was
sit down with these two guys. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just that was kind of like in the beginning of the TCM collecting. So I was kind of a little more nervous to meet the big guys like that. But I like when I met with Bob, I'm working with his schedule right now. Hopefully Bob Elmore will be on. And I was trying to get a hold of Mark and a couple people like that too. So, but I'm branching out. It's just fun for me, man. Just anybody that wants to hop on, I think it's great. Like I had C. Ernst Harth on, who was the great child in 13 Ghosts. He was one hell of a guy too, man. It's just so much fun talking to you guys. I mean, it's just like you guys have such great stories, and
a movie that doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah,
I love 13 Ghosts. I wish they would do another. We do a spinoff, just like I love the
series.
The Cabin in the Woods, right? Yeah. When they came out with all the creatures after that, I was like, yeah, that's that. And 13 Ghosts, it'd be a great series.
It would.
Look, I have a collection of comic books, and they were called Creepy and Eerie. 1969, I believe they started. 67. Warren Publications And the greatest, Franzetta, Corbin, all these guys who are incredible artists. If you ever see that thing with Death Dealer, it's or some of the old Conan the Barbarians where he's just muscular and he's killing, all these savages coming up. That's all Franzetta stuff, the artist, and they were doing all the covers for these things. So I've spent a ton of money to get the whole collection of Creepy and Eerie magazine.
Cool.
And I told the guy at HBO, I said, look, if you're not doing the Crypt Keeper anymore, which they haven't done in years, I hear they might be doing a little revisit to it and shooting a couple episodes. But
okay.
I said that would be a great series. That would be just you got 10 years or 20 years worth of different stories from these comics that are great. And it's just, we're very lucky we live in a time when horror is a big deal right now, and people cannot just say, oh, it's just that just the kids like it, and the kids and adults and right, timeless, 100%.
Oh, it's just hopeful. Like I said, it's a great time to be a collector. It's a great time for everything. I mean, I know conventions have always been around before, but I'd like to imagine that we're in the heyday of it now. I mean, it's just, like you're saying, now you're seeing the people that can make the money, the promoters, the venues. Holy shit, that brought in 40,000 people. This. Okay, now it just keeps rolling. It's just amazing.
Well, there's thousands and thousands of conventions, right? I mean, people, they don't always run right. They there's hiccups. When you're dealing with 40,000 or 20,000 people, or you have major celebrities in there, you're always going to have some issues, and some people are going to be mad. But all in all, most of the shows I do, these people try their hardest and they're putting out their money. I go to Canada. I'm lucky when I do Frightmare in the Fall. Sometimes they'll fly me up first class because I'm a giant dude. And it's very nice when you get to do that. And those guys do some great shows. Frightmare in the Falls, Niagara Falls Comic Con, Nickel City Con in Buffalo, Hamilton Comic Con. So those guys that run that are great guys, and I will really appreciate. In fact, they bought my script when I had first time I got my blood clot on my leg. I was like, man, I wasn't working. I wasn't able to go do stuff. And so I went to Sean Clark, Convention All Stars. I went to his house, and he was doing a live auction, and those guys bought my script from Texas Chainsaw Massacre that I kept for all those years. So I'll put it in, where it's got your name is imposed over every page. So if someone stole that script, they'll know, Brett Wagner, where's your script, by the way? But there's a lot of really cool people, I mean, I love the Crypticon folks. I love, going and working for Roy Rose down at the gas station in Bastrop, and, all this stuff. Monsterpalooza I did for the first time this year. Great show, big show.
Sure.
Which was awesome. And I didn't have my own booth. I sat at Trick or Treat Studios booth.
Okay.
In a little section in the corner, but they were nice enough to let me do that.
That's cool.
And I love Trick or Treat Studios, by the way.
They do great things, man.
I do great stuff, man.
Yeah, it's
their masks. Let me tell you something. Their masks, the mask that's my mold from the 2003. That is my mold that they did. Scott Stoddard did with my mask. That mold. So the Trick or Treat 03 Studios mask came from my mold, which is awesome. Which I had no idea until my buddy told me. Jordan, who makes my costume, who makes the DeForce. I may be saying that wrong. But he makes the 03 costumes. So the 03 costume I have, he made for me. And which I wear when I do costume photo ups. But they just the Mark Burnham mask just came out, which it looks great.
Yeah.
The Bob Elmore and Bill Johnson mask is super good looking that they put out. And then they bought all the Don Poe. They own Don Poe Studios now, and all those old school masks, which I used to look at in Creepy and Eerie magazine in the back pages because that's where it'd be Don Post. You're like, oh, look at those masks.
Sure.
What the?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to get that mask.
I mean, hell, they even got that I'll probably say it wrong, but that Nicotero mask from the video game. I mean, it's just there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
which Robert Mukes.
Yeah.
Robert Mukes got to be, he's freshly in the family now, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family, because Robert from House of a Thousand Corpses and Weeds and a whole bunch of other stuff. Robert got to be, be in the game. They used him, his character, Hands. So, and people think, well, that's in the video game. Who did they? I said, no. Robert had to film. He killed 17 people in that game, but that means you're killing 17 people and they're filming it, and then they do whatever they do to put it in a video game.
Right.
Very physical deal, and the Nicotero mask is great.
It's a killer concept. I mean, just the idea of it, and to me, I like the Leatherface mask from 2, which just where you really start to see the mouths and the nose, where it's really, I feel they really took that as the influence. But I like it how it's just open, like a guy like me with like a beard and stuff, always putting on a mask. This always comes out, on the bottom end. So having something that's kind of open like that, it's just cool. It is cool. It's fresh.
All right, my friend, ladies and gentlemen, I know that the man right there has got to, he's got stuff to do, babies to change diapers on, and stuff to do.
Heading to Fargo at 3 a.m, so it'll be
what's in Fargo? Work?
For work, yeah. I got to visit all my regional offices now, so it's one straight fucking line, and there's nothing after St. Cloud. So you just talk about boring in the middle of the dark driving. Holy shit! So
and you got snow on the ground now?
Not yet, which is nice. Oh. So thank God. With fingers crossed, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But
very lucky. Well, I appreciate you finally letting me come on. I've only been asking for 3 years to be on your show.
Stop it.
I heard it took Michael Toth. He had to say, listen, get Schwag on, get him on there.
He said he was going to cut me off. He said, I'm not making you any more skateboards unless you get him on. I said, all right, it's fucking time. No.
Yeah. He just did a good Texas Chainsaw, R.A. Mihailov skateboard, which is great.
Beautiful.
One of my good buddies, by the way. I've known R.A. since I was 19 years old. We were working bars together in big nightclubs in L.A.
Excellent.
Throwing people out. So it's pretty cool. All right, my friend. Well, thank you so much for letting me come on. And
anytime you want to come back, my friend, please.
Bullshit and talk all this garbage that we've done for an hour. And I apologize if I talk too much.
Oh, hell no. This has been beautiful, man. I appreciate you again. And hope you have a nice evening, my friend.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll let you take us out. Go ahead.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Brett Wagner, the Leatherface from 2003, credited with the Kemper Kill, the best part of the fucking movie, for God's sakes. Mr. Big Schwag, you can find him at every single convention that ever exists. Follow him on all his socials, everything. You can't miss this guy.
Hey, Evans, next year, a couple good conventions. Evansville Horror Con. I'm real excited to be there in Indiana at that. Amazing. Oh, gosh, and I can't think of... Smoky Mountain Terror. We'll be at that. Even though they haven't announced me yet, but I'm going to be at that thing. I'm pretty excited to do that. And then I think we're going to do Buffalo Nickel City Con as well. They do have and then I'm also doing in Germany. I'll be in Germany.
That's after my heart right there.
I don't know if it's Weekend of Horror. Hold on before we go. Let me just make sure. Is it Weekend of Horrors? Weekend of Horrors. That's right. Yes, we'll be. Sean Roberts from Resident Evil. They're having a little Resident Evil thing, and Camille Keaton. I Spit on Your Grave. I think Matthew Taylor.
Holy shit.
Melanie Kinnaman, who I love. I've done some shows with Melanie. Great chick. Very nice lady. And another guy, Michael Ironside, will be there. And then, of course, the Big Schwag will be visiting all his brothers and sisters from Germany.
Der große Schwag aus Deutschland. There we go.
That's right. Beautiful. Yes. So I'm pretty excited. All right. As always, it's a pleasure rapping with you. Thank you very much for putting on a great podcast as you do all the time.
Thank you very much.
And put Michael Toth on house arrest for at least a week. Don't let him come on and bug you.
I will. All right, Big Schwag. Catch you next time, brother.
Thank you, bro.
All right. Yes. God damn it. Again, why am I live on a fucking Wednesday? Because TCM royalty, baby. It really fucking means a lot to me. I didn't want to sit and just fanboy to him, but now that he's off for a minute, I'll just say that, I mean, you guys know the TCM fucking universe, the world, it's everything to me, man. It's my absolute favorite. And for the fact of just kind of doing this goofball podcast, just shooting the shit with some friends, to now actually getting friends that are in the fucking movie and stuff. I mean, it's a fucking dream come true. So Mr. Wagner is my gateway drug into the TCM guests. Again, Big Bob Elmore. We're trying to get a date down for that where he'll hop on. And of course, you watching the other shows and stuff, it's not just strictly TCM, baby. So if you guys like what you see, support the show. You don't have to buy anything. I'm not saying that, but all I'm saying, man, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the fucking feed around, tell some people about it. But if you do want to support, I do have the merch store open, so you can get the Space Corps podcast shirts. I got Stoney's TCM Museum shit. Again, everybody that's bought in there, I really fucking appreciate you guys so much. And I put my money where my mouth is when I say this. Anything that's sold on the merch store goes right back into the show. My new fucking Shure microphone. Oh my God. I've been dealing with a fucking $20 Amazon piece of shit that was going downhill and just tanking. I'm as being a fucking a musician. I was in a band. I was a front man to a metal band. Just having Shure microphones in my early life, I just know just the quality of it. This means a fucking lot to me. So again, I really appreciate everybody. Again, please support the sponsors of the show. Half Moon Designs. That is Ann McDonald from the Shit Show, the Queen Bee. She makes some of the most amazing top quality stuff. So a lot of horror stuff. So you're going from purses to mini backpacks to bags to all that type of stuff. But she's also, she's gone viral on TikTok a couple of times with the burrito wallets. It's amazing shit. So if you like what she does and you don't have anything or you need some more pieces, check out her Shopify. But please, for the love of God, save yourself some money here. When you go to checkout, use the promo code Space Corps and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Anything goes, doesn't matter, no bullshit, okay? The other things too, ladies and gentlemen, before I get off, I do have a couple more of the chainsaw boards left. These are fully licensed TCM 50th year anniversary through Magic Skateboards. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The chainsaw board, it's beautiful. It's cut in the shape of a fucking pollen chainsaw. Amazing to bring into conventions and stuff. A lot easier than trying to bring in a real fucking chainsaw with the weapon policies and all that type of shit. Plus, it's just fucking easier and lighter, and it's not going to leak fucking bar oil all over your goddamn shit. 500 of those motherfuckers are made, and then they got the SilverCon exclusive. Only 100 of those made too. The retail on those, $124.95. Again, they are sold out unless you can find them from a couple of the dealers. I am an authorized licensed dealer. I will hook you up at the retail price. I'm not in it to make fucking money. Don't buy them from the shitheads online. They're gonna already going up there for $500, $700, $800. Let me know if you need some. I've got like maybe 3 or 4 of the silvers left, and I have 1 or 2 of the regular chainsaw ones. So if you're still in the market, let me know. I'll hook it up. And then, of course, big homie Frank from Hot Reels, as he's kickstarting into his passion here. Long time, growing up, collecting Hot Wheels and stuff. He's poured his heart and his love of horror in together to make these really unique, cool fucking pieces here. So they're mimicking like a Hot Wheels type of a toy, but they're horror accessories, man. They're fucking awesome. And again, check out the previous podcast where I had him on. We're going through it. I've got the TCM ones. They're fucking amazing, man. And the best thing about it is like the dude only charges $20 for these pieces. And of course it ain't just TCM. He's always branching out. So make sure you follow him on Facebook and stuff like that too. If you can't find him, let me know. I'll help you out. But ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all so fucking much for being on here tonight. This was a really, really, really important night for me. I'm really excited about this. Massive thanks to Mr. Brett Wagner, Big Schwag, Leatherface himself. I had goddamn Leatherface on the podcast. Oh, fucking sweet, dude. So I gotta fucking get my ass to bed because I'm up at 3 in the fucking morning going to Fargo. If anybody's bored at 4 in the morning, you want to shoot the shit, let me know because I ain't got nothing else to fucking do but just stare at one fucking straight line for goddamn 4 hours. Fuck, but whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, again, everybody that's been in the comments, I'm sorry I wasn't able to read everybody's, but I appreciate the shit out of y'all. Until then, I don't think I'm going to be live this Friday because I was doing this one, but you know I'm always coming. Every fucking week, I'm coming hard, baby, coming strong, fresh pair of drawers. This is the Space Corps Podcast. I'm Stoney. I come to you live from the TCM Museum of Minnesota, baby. Come check this shit out one of these days. Bobby Mitchum, I see you. I love you, baby. Everybody else, have a great rest of your night. I'm out.
Drifting through the void, no gravity grip. Space Corp saga on a cosmic trip. No breath to take, but memory steep. Searching for the chainsaw in the galaxy deep. Stars blink, the silence loud. Stony waiting, Minnesota proud. Magic chainsaw, got the cosmic glow. Gonna bring it back, gotta let 'em know. Space Corp goes orbiting by. Harvest moon in the cosmic sky. Stony holding breath in time. Chainsaw quest in a stellar rhyme. Past the nebulous misty smoke. Chasing myths, never broke. Zombie hero in a spacesuit shell. Searching for a song, rock through hell. Dim lights, planets and moons alone. Alive, chainsaw's power, a magic sign. Echoes of the past in the endless black. No turning back in space.